Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our NCIS Season 18, Episode 14 review. It's a story of dogs. There you go. There's Coco Vanderwolf, excited to make a cameo in this week.
Dogs pick their people. That was such a line that just really resonated with me tonight and Matt, because when we went to go get Coco, we actually went to go get her brother. That was who we saw online that we were, actually, he saw Coco and really liked her. Yeah. I saw the brother. I really liked him. We decided to go get the brother. The brother didn't want nothing to do with us, and Coco just walked right up to us and sat down with us, and we were chosen.
She had a giant head. It was incredibly endearing.
Magic head. Yeah. That's what we called her for a little while.
Yeah, it's a big head, tiny, tiny body. Okay, listen, I'm very excited about this episode. It is like stuff full of NCIS Easter eggs and...
Such a good episode. This was a good episode.
Yeah. Wait, I'm hearing a marching band coming down the street. They're here for the...
Slib Street.
Yes, it is the party we have all been waiting for.
2 mentions of Slibs.
We have Slibs. Alec Avenue is in on the action right now.
Oh, Coco is leaving me.
Coco is done with us. Well, that is fine. You know what? Okay, you're kind of sitting down barely. We'll see how that goes. But before we get into anything more in this episode, we are almost at 50,000 subscribers. We are getting there. It is incredibly exciting. Why not hit that subscribe button? Be a part of the movement.
Yes, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to help get us to this point. We are really close to 50,000. It is crazy. We're so just humbled and overwhelmed with this support that we've been having. So yeah, if you want to be part of this and you want to get more NCIS, we're here all the time talking about NCIS. Hit that subscribe button.
And follow us over on Instagram, Jess TV. We have new photos of Coco Vanderwolf there, who she is officially done with us now. She is just like, get me away from here. I'm choosing something else.
Yeah, we recently moved. We have a whole bunch of pictures up about around the house with Coco, with everything. So yeah, Matt and Jess TV, follow us over there.
Okay, can we begin with my celebration of Nick and Bishop? Because I'm so excited.
I'll let you have that.
They had the talk, which...
We got a tiny little piece of, which is probably what we all expected.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to actually get to sit and hear the whole talk. But it was nice to see that they weren't kind of just leading us on, that we were going to get the talk and we weren't going to get anything. I mean, it was really small, but we heard her say to him, this all kind of started when we were in those cells, which is when I thought that they had kissed off screen. And I still think they did. I think they did, and then they just never talked about it.
I think they definitely did. I think they did for sure now. I think they have certainly become more flirtatious since. They both know there's something there. They haven't defined it. Here is my only one concern. Mm-hmm. If they're having this talk in the elevator, how slow is the elevator ride? Like, how much ground are you covering in 20 seconds?
They're going to start in the elevator. They're going to go to the car together. They're going to go back to Ellie's apartment. Bada bing.
I'll allow it. Okay, so I am so happy. Who knows if we're actually going to get anything more about Alec the rest of the season, but even if we don't.
Yeah. No, I think that this was really good. This is a good step for NCIS, because a lot of times there isn't a talk. There isn't even 5 seconds in the elevator. There isn't a kiss. There isn't anything. Everything just kind of happens off screen, and it's kind of alluded to that maybe possibly something is happening. But I mean, this episode, the whole office knows something's up. They even had a moment where Bishop was kind of like, is this like Gibbs and Sloan? This is not like Gibbs and Sloan. Everybody knew about that. And I was like, yeah, we all knew. Yeah. We all,
even Phineas knows what's going on here.
I know. He's like, do you love her? Are you going to marry her? The answers are yes and yes. But Sloan has decided to go do something else right now. So this is where we are.
Phineas is the MVP of this episode. Phineas is the MVP of the season because, how many excellent questions did Phineas ask?
How many answers did he get? None.
Let's see. He asked, Are you and Sloan gonna get married? Do you love her? Are you lonely? How do you get the boat upstairs?
How do you get the boat upstairs was the absolute best running joke of this episode. Seeing the bad guys come into Gibbs's house with the flashlight, start rubbing the boat and be like, I wonder how he gets it out of here. I died.
It was
so funny. This episode legit had everything that I've been looking for.
You know, Steve Binder has been sitting on this joke for probably like 5 years, just like, where do I put this in? Where do I drop this for everyone who's been annoying me with this for the past decade and a half?
No, it was good.
I don't even care that Gibbs didn't really give an answer, including, what do you actually do with these? Because there is this image in my head of Gibbs just, like, strolling on a river, like, alone, complaining at ducks for getting too close to his boat.
But it was nice that they actually, he had a little bit of a conversation with Phineas about being lonely, and that he does admit that he actually does get lonely, and that, some of this is a bit of a guard around him for keeping him lonely. One of Phineas's questions was, are you ever going to get married again? Where Gibbs was kind of like, you're asking too many questions, move along. But when he did get to the end where he was sort of like, I do get lonely, I was like, okay, good. If anyone's really going to be able to get stuff out of him, it's either going to be McGee or it's going to be someone like Phineas, who he is very close to.
Yeah, and kids, they have no filter. And, Phineas just going to ask everything that's on his mind.
Yeah, that was the one unfiltered thing that Phineas had said to Gibbs where I kind of felt like, not like it was out of line, but obviously it was how Phineas was feeling, which was, you also left me, Gibbs. And I know there was a lot of us that were thinking that Gibbs might adopt him, but with Gibbs's lifestyle, that's not something that he was really looking to do. And he thought that these foster parents were the right people. They, love him. They wanted to be with Phineas, and that they were going to be the best people to give him the best life. The thing is Gibbs did not just abandon him. No. He had, like, his little notebook where he was listed as little buddy, so he still had his phone number. He was still calling him. He was writing him letters. He was far from just, well, you abandoned me. Well, he really didn't.
I think they didn't build up that moment enough. Like, there wasn't enough, like, anger from Phineas towards Gibbs to kind of justify that sort of coming out of the blue.
Well, there also felt like there just wasn't enough of an abandonment for that. Yeah. Because Gibbs has been writing him, and Phineas has been writing him back, and obviously there's phone calls. Like, he didn't just leave. There was not all of a sudden, okay, you're going to go with these parents, and all the best to you, kid. That didn't happen.
Yeah, and I guess no one had a conversation with Phineas. Gibbs is of retirement age, and he's at a point in his life where, being, a full-time dad is a little bit of a challenge. And I think Phineas, at least I sure hope over this episode, he reminded himself of how much Gibbs cared about him. He gave him his dog. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, he gave him his dog. I think it's hard for kids Phineas' age to really know where to express that anger. That's why it was like, it kind of felt like it came out of left field, but everything that Phineas has been through with his mom and his dad is gone, then he's in foster care, and then he, had Gibbs. He feels like he doesn't have Gibbs. He feels like he's just getting tossed around.
Can we talk about my other favorite part of this episode?
Yes.
It is, of course, the tablet that Gibbs has received.
You mean the coaster?
Yeah, the coaster.
The coaster for his coffee?
Yeah, I will say $1,000 coaster here, but I love seeing Ducky again. For those of you who aren't aware, it's a safety precaution. That's why we haven't seen David McCallum on the set very much this year at all. But even just like a minute or two of him, which, by the way, Gibbs, how dare you hang up on Ducky?
And then close it on him and Casey, and they're still talking. Are you still here? Yeah, I'm still here. I think Gibbs is hung up on us. That was so good. This episode was filled with laughs, which I really liked. There was a little bit of romance that was going on. And we finally had this feeling, or at least for me, that Gibbs is back working on a case. Like, we haven't had that feeling in a few episodes now. And it hasn't been the same. It's nice that McGee is sort of stepping into that role, and he's kind of like, get your gear. It just isn't the same. And I think they're kind of they're playing on that a little bit when he said, get your
Yeah.
gear, that it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's not the same.
No. Grab your gear is up here. Get your gear is kind of like somewhere around here. It's just...
McGee just needs to get his own thing.
Yeah, you're not Gibbs, McGee. We love you just the way that you are.
Yes, we do, and he knows he's not Gibbs.
Yeah, I did like this episode more because it did feel like Gibbs was a little bit more involved in some of the action. I wish we had something that signaled he would be kind of coming back soon, because we really don't.
Yeah, I actually was hoping that, him giving Phineas the dog, okay, now he's on his own again. Like, maybe they didn't want to have Gibbs have Lucy and then just leave Lucy at home by herself all the time, because eventually it'll come around that's like, well, Gibbs would never do that. He's not going to leave Lucy at home for 12 hours a day or however long he's working, right? From morning till noon, the dog's alone. So then we also had this episode where he was kind of back in the field. He's at the hospital. He's calling so-and-so. Phineas is at his house. There's bad guys rubbing his boat. I mean, there's all these things that are happening that might have been the little bit of smoke that was needed to kind of, ignite the flame in him where he feels like he's got to come back, because he's got to come back, right?
Right? Okay, first of all, the bad guy rubbing his boat is a phrase that I never thought we would be saying on the channel ever.
Here we are.
Second thing, this is my only real beef with this episode is there's no way that Gibbs shows up at the hospital without any sort of credentials, and they're just sort of like, yeah, look, come over here and I'll tell you something on the slide.
Yeah, that's a firing.
Yeah, like this, he could just be some random cantankerous old guy. Like, he doesn't necessarily mean he's an agent.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was a little bit on the, you know what, I'll let that slide.
Yeah,
this was an overall great episode,
Yeah.
so for me, I'll let that slide.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to different institutions now and be like, I am a secret agent, and just sort of see.
And just give people's personal medical information?
Okay, not their personal. There are better uses for that.
What are you gonna do with this information?
I'm a special agent. I am going on an operation. Can I get my coffee faster? Like, mundane
Where are your
things.
credentials? I don't need any.
I am a special agent of coffee. Okay, all right. I will stop this now before I go further off the rails.
If you decide to do that, you have to do it through Grounds and Hounds, please.
Okay, yeah. I'll go on their website and be like, hello, Grounds and Hounds. Insert comment alongside order. I am a special agent of coffee. I need this stat. Okay, stat's a medical term. All right, what did you guys think about NCIS Season 18, Episode 14? Share in the comments, and yeah, if you enjoyed this discussion, hit that subscribe button, get us closer to 50K, give this video a like, support us by checking those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.